Hey guys, it's well, you know who I am. I want to talk about the poop scoop business. Okay, let's talk pricing. I know my good friend Erica up in Michigan did a video on this, and I want to talk just a little bit about this. Um, Pricing on your poop scooping business. You have to know your worth. And I've said this in every business venture I've done. I've said this in every job I've done. You have a value customer and a price customer. So, knowing your worth is saying we go into as entrepreneurs, we want to make all kinds of money. We're like, we're going to make millions of dollars. Well, let's rewind that back. Um, so, in being in the scooping business, there's not many of us. I'm not too sure exactly how many scoopers there are, but you need to check out your competition that you're going up against and seeing what they're doing. I've seen quite a few scooping services come in town, and for instance, one dog once a week pickup is $13. It's fair. I never hear any slack on it. Each one of my scoopers averages at least 50 to 75 bucks an hour. Um, Depending on, it's $2 for each additional dog. So 2 dogs is 15. I've seen companies come in town, and when I'm researching every month, just looking to see if there's any new competition, they've come in at $20 a dog. I'm like, okay, I'm not worried about this guy. So, and their website disappears in a couple months because they don't get any clients. So, knowing your worth, could I get more money out of these customers? Yes, I could. Do I need more money? Well, yeah, I could always use more money. But how much is your customer willing to pay for the services provided? So the difference is between a $10 yard and a $13 yard is if your competition is doing it for $10, they have to work twice as hard. Therefore, if you're doing a $10 one dog yard, you're going to have to do that twice as quick. You're not going to have time to build a rapport with the customer or the dog because you're going to have to go to make money. Where I'm at a 13, 15, 17, 19 is good. I would like more. But I've done a lot of research on the median households and incomes and things like that. So when I did my business, I went on the plan of flat rate. So my first year and a half, you told me you had one dog? I didn't charge an initial when I began. When I first started, I did not charge an initial. We came out there, it was $12 for one dog. We didn't charge an initial, which remind me to get to that because you need to charge an initial cleanup because you're going to go to yards. You're going to be like, wow. Now how you price it is going to be different according to where in, United States you are versus the North where you're under snow for a lot of time versus the South. Sometimes it's kept up on. We keep a flat rate for the first hour and then charge every 15 minutes after for an initial. And then it goes to your weekly rate. But I was able to build up within a year a little over 100 customers. Did I lose a lot going to jobs? On the initial, yeah, because I didn't charge an initial. If it was 2 dogs, it was $15. That's what I charged you. But in the beginning, nobody knew me. I didn't have any reviews. No customers were talking about me. And I still had my day job and my part-time nighttime job. So this was just a weekend thing. And I said, okay, I'll bite the bullet. Did I cuss, grin, and be like, wow, I should really charge them more? Yeah, I did. But I'm a man of my word. I'm honest and I'm fair. And I wanted people to try our services. So that's what I did. And well, then the thing came on where I started bringing on a little bit of help because I got too big. Well, the problem is it fair for me to ask somebody else who's helping me to work for the same wage that I would work for when they could be doing anything else they wanted? Well, I mean, no, it's not. So that was where, and the people that helped me out in the beginning, they were like, yeah, they were like, we really need to be getting some more, because we'd go to a new start and be there for an hour. Now the next week and the week and after that, you're in there for 7 to 10 minutes. So the money's worth it. But in the beginning, on the first clean, we were hitting some bad ones, and we really didn't know the flow of bad yards. Like we definitely learned that here in Kentucky. When people stop scooping their own yards, when they call and they're like, oh man. So this fall we're going to be having a different type of initial program that's going to be priced per dog. That we're just going to have to do it that way because I had too many times, over the winter months, the 3 months during the hard winter, December, January, and February, we signed up 115 customers. And each one of them, I would say 80% of those were probably 30 to 45 minute scoops. Now we had a little bit higher, we charged $40 for a first time pickup. So that covered it. Anything over an hour, it was charged extra. So, but I'm going to change the pricing. But so people ask me, how did I build my business so quick? That was the first thing, is I did flat rate pricing. Did I win some? Yeah, I won a lot. Did I lose a few? As in money wise? Yeah. When I went to a one dog and it's, 0.75 an acre, they're like, oh yeah, they use all this property. I'm like, oh man. But I'm a man of my word. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to do the job. And because I know that one big yard, I may have 2 or 3 real small yards that I'm getting, $13 or $15 for, and I'm only in for 5 to 7 minutes. So you have to look at your time as, I look at it as an overall every day. When all my scoopers are out, I have 9 scoopers now. We're close to 400 yards. I just finished up year number 3. We're on track to do $250,000 this year. So I have quite a few part-time scoopers who just scoop on their off days. That's a whole nother video that I'll do another time, but keep that in mind, because I'm having an issue of my 4 and 5 day scoopers getting burnt out. And I can understand. It's hot out there. It's cold out there. It's rainy out there. It's mucky. But pricing. Know your worth. So somebody's going to come to you and they're going to say, and I know Crouppen, she said the same thing. Well, I got a small yard. It's only going to take you a few minutes. And, every now and then I would sink into, well, okay, let me knock a couple dollars off. But then I'd get out there and it would be 45 minutes to do the first scoop. And I'm like, what did I just do? But my problem is I'm a man of my word. And if I say I'm going to do it for this price, this is the price I'm going to do it for. Because my name is bigger than what I value money-wise that I want. And I've always dealt with the money later. Let's get the job done. Once the ink's on the paper, because we used to be paper, we're all paperless now. Once they signed the paper, I went to work. They're like, oh, when can you do it? And I'm like, I'm going to grab the buck and go do it right now. I'm here. Let's do it. So they were like, whoa, and they were amazed. And that was the other thing. And that was kind of in the beginning when I would go and actually give quotes. I went and gave quotes for maybe a month. And I stopped after that. They'd call me up or text me. I'd give them the price. Yay or nay. This is the price for this many dogs. I had a small, simple service agreement, nothing fancy. I'd get there, I'd leave it on the door for them, or I'd email it to them and have them sign it and leave it there for me if they weren't going to be there. And we'd go to work. End of the month, I'd bill them. But then we got into the whole new start fees, and then and it wasn't until about year number 2 that we're like, okay, I limited it down to a normal size yard, being a quarter of an acre here in town. So with a quarter of an acre is a 7 to 10 minute yard. Anything over 15 minutes, and that's what I tell people, is look, I'll give you this price. And this is when they try to talk me down. I will give you this price. But understand, if my scooper takes more than 15 minutes in your yard, there's going to be $1 or $2 upcharge. And because I explained to them, I was like, yes, you're paying per dog, but you're also paying for the time of my scooper coming out and do it. You're paying for our time. We have a minimum number. And the minimum number we follow in this town is at least $50 an hour. That's what a scooper needs to make. Each scooper can average 3 to 4 jobs. We have so many of them now. Now, in the beginning, when I had 10 yards, it took me 2 days. 2 days to do 10 yards. But I would drive 75 miles on the first day, doing the first part of the city. Then I would be nighttime. Then next day I'd get up and I would drive the other half of the city. And because it was 30 minutes in between each job. And then of course I had my daughter with me. So we'd have to stop and get lunch, have to stop and get drinks, bathroom. She was 11 at the time, and she was excited to scoop back then. Now, not so much. Now she wants her cut. So when you price, know your worth. If you do start this type of business, have another job. Straight up. Get you a nighttime job, a second shift job, something else that's going to pay your bills. Flat out. Just, I was able to gain customers by doing that. And then about a year, somewhere between year 1 and year 2, one of my competitions who had been in town, it was a franchise that had been here for about 3 years, they left and went to Texas. I never really talked to the guy. I know there's enough dog butts to go around. I've never really reached out as a young entrepreneur. I mean, I'm 37, but being so new, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. I did have one other scooper, Jason, with Pet Corpse, that he had reached out to me and we became friends, and and he was having a rough time. He's in a town below me, but he does service up here, and so I kind of told him what was working for me and trying to guide him to see if some of the things that I do would help for him, because there's enough dog butts to go around. I'm not greedy like that. I don't want them all. I don't. I want the value customers. If you come at me and you're like, oh, that's too high, I'm like, okay, have a good day. Call me when you want us. I walk away from them. People ask me for discounts. Everybody's giving military discounts, and God bless, everybody that's in the military who has served, who was past served, who's going to serve. Thank you in advance. I appreciate everything you do. So people ask for military discounts, senior discounts, all kinds of discounts. And my prices are so low, I can't operate with everybody on a 10, 15, 20% discount. I would have to raise my prices to give those down. So there's very few that, I will work with, mostly they're senior citizens or fixed incomes. I've seen the yard, I've scooped, we've scooped it, and I've got a time in for it, because the fixed income, that sucks. That's what we all don't want. We don't, but we're all going to get that, unfortunately. we're going to get to our point in life. We can't work anymore, and this is all the money we're going to get, whether or not Social Security's here or not. But I feel for him. And this is a part it's more of for, I want the yard clean for the dogs. Okay? That's it. I want the dogs to be able to go enjoy their yard. I want their grandbabies to come and enjoy the yard. I want their kids to be able to come over and enjoy the yard. Okay? So, that being said, I never really talked to it, but he only had, I think, around 200 customers, and I only gained about 50 from him. And so that helped us. So there was only 3 of us in town. And then the other scooper with Pet Corps, he had maybe about 6 months later, I guess. He was trying to re-enlist. He was a vet tech in the Army, and he wanted to re-enlist. And we kind of became friends, and a real good guy. And he blessed me with all of his customers when he decided after 12 years he wanted out. He has 3 little kids now, I think all under 5 or 6, a wife. And, I completely understand, the little town he was in, it was hard to market. Even me having marketing down there, I'm not picking up a whole lot of traction doing what's working up here in the big city down there. Now, we do go down and service all those customers. I think out of the 47 customers he had, I acquired 37 of them. There was 10 of them that was either we couldn't make contact with, they weren't answering, our flyers and emails and phone calls to transfer service, or they just thought our prices were too high because Jason's prices were on a bit of the lower end. I don't think they had been raised up in a while. And that's something you're going to have to get over in a business setting like this, is you're going to have to raise your prices every now and then. I did my first price increase just in January. So 2 years, 8-9 months. I did my first price increase on anybody that was within like the first year of servicing. Like the very first original ones I got. They all got raised up, according to what our price scale is now. A few of them that were on custom plans got moved up. So, know your worth. Discounts, that's completely up to you, but understand if you're pricing a yard at $10, $11, $12, you're going to knock another 10% off that. You got to figure out what your gas is, what your vehicle is, what your advertising cost is. And I can tell you all this adds up, having as many as I have. And then when you get to a certain point of so many customers, you can't do it all. I mean, it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now, and I'm up. It's billing day. I'm going to start on billing here in a minute. We do billing on the 15th of every month. So I'm going to end this video and upload it. And then I'm sure I'll have some more random subjects to talk about.